YouTube, Joseph Ulmer here. This is the first video I filmed this year, so Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to take you through winterizing a motorcycle. This is my wife's bike. She does not like to ride in cold weather. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people like that. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to winterize her bike for her. That way, come springtime, we do the prep work now. When it warms up in the spring, all we'll have to do is drop the battery back in and fire it back up. So the big three things that we're going to do to winterize this to make sure it runs well in the spring. When I get all done, I'm going to pull the battery out and I'm going to put it on charge because I don't have electricity up here other than a generator. Otherwise, I would just plug a trickle charger into it because it is set up for a trickle charger, so I can just pull the side cover off, plug it in, which is the best way to go. Then you can leave your battery in your bike. It'll be all charged up in the spring. So if you're keeping it in your house garage, get one of the battery maintainers. You can get them. You can buy a battery tender. They're about 30 bucks. You can get the less expensive ones from, say, Harbor Freight, and they're between 12 and 20 depending on which model you get. If you get one of the ones with the permanent connection that you can put on the motorcycle battery, so you just have to plug it in when you pull it into the garage, which work great. Those are a little more expensive because of the added accessories, but you can also make up your own cables. We'll talk about that later, different video. But we're going to pull the battery out, put it on charge down at the house. That way it'll be nice and charged up, ready to go in the spring. Just put it on a trickle charge maintainer. We're going to put Sta-Bil in the gas. And then I have some of the Sta-Bil fogging oil that we're going to fog the engine with to make sure that everything internally stays lubricated. We don't get anything dried out inside. The Sta-Bil for the fuel. This is very important, especially in states that have ethanol blended fuel. So here in Missouri where I live, all the fuel is generally a roughly 10% ethanol blend. Ethanol will draw moisture, and ethanol fuels do tend to go bad faster. So believe me, I have used this stuff. I actually have a boat sitting back here in the corner that you can't see that I put Sta-Bil in. When I was getting divorced, it sat for probably 6 years with Sta-Bil in it. When I got it back after the divorce, it actually fired back up on the old gas that was in it and ran fine. Now, I wouldn't necessarily take it out and run a high RPM on that, but for winter storage, this stuff is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and treat the bike with the Sta-Bil. It'll be a little over treated at a ½ ounce per gallon. So on a 5-gallon tank, you want 2.5 ounces. And it's better to over treat than under treat. You're not going to hurt it by over treating it a little bit. So I'm going to put in my Sta-Bil, and then once I get this in, I'm going to take the bike down to the gas station. It's only about a ½ mile down to the gas station, and I'm going to fill the tank up. You really should fill the tank up for winter storage. That way there is no chance of it drawing moisture into the tank. And if I put this in before I run it down to the gas station, it'll mix it with the fuel, plus it'll pull this through into the carburetors and everything else, so that I won't have untreated gas sitting in the float bowls in the carburetors. This is also important if you have a fuel injected bike to get treated gas down into the fuel injectors. It'll help them from keep them from getting sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and treat the gas. I'm going to take it down, fill it up. I'm going to bring it back. When I get back, I'm going to take you through fogging the cylinders, and we're going to pull the battery out. So while I'm treating the gas and running down to the gas station, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. If you already have, make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you get notifications on all my upcoming videos. As always, please share these with your friends, guys, because this year I would like to start doing a little bit more motorcycle related content for you guys. But in order to do that, that means I'm going to have to be buy projects to work on, to show you different things, travel to different events to show you different events, and just do some road trips in general that I can show you some neat road trips. So please, guys, share these videos, subscribe to the channel, click the like button. The more people that click the like button, the more YouTube will show my videos to new viewers. And the more times my videos can get viewed, the more money I can make off the ad revenue, because I'm not asking for any Patreon donations or anything like that. And that way I can bring you guys more content, better content, and more interesting content. So please do me a favor, guys, share these, click that like button, subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm going to get this in the bike. We're going to fill it up. In order to use these, they have a foil seal, hopefully you can see that, on the top of both sides. Now, you want to make sure when you peel this foil seal, get the foil seal off all the way. You do not want that foil seal falling down in the bottom of your gas tank. If it does, that can easily plug up a fuel line, a fuel pickup in the tank. That wouldn't be good. Hopefully this is going to show up. I'm going to try and get in here, and I don't know if the camera can focus on it, but this is a large bottle. It's marked off in quarter, half, 3/4, and 1 ounce. Now all you have to do to measure it out is just loosen up your caps. Loosen up the cap on this side, excuse me, leave this one tight. Now we're just going to gently squeeze, and you can see it fills it up to, we're going to fill it up to 1 ounce. That'll treat 2 gallons. Now that bike has roughly a 5-gallon tank in it, so I'm actually gonna put 4 ounces in. That way it'll be a little over treated. It'll be fine. So I'm gonna do that 4 times. Then I'm gonna take it to the gas station. That should easily treat 6 gallons of gas. If I put any more than that in there, which I highly doubt I will, I'll add some more when I get back, just to make sure we have plenty of treatment. Alright guys, we're back. Filled it up with gas, it only took 3 gallons. I know this tank's no more than 5. But we're good there. Now, I'm going to take you through fogging the engine. First thing I'm going to do is to remove the air cleaner. That way we can fog the engine down the carburetor. We're going to put our straw up. Start the bike. Turn the gas back on because I shut it off when I parked it. Now, I fogged it till it died. That should load the cylinders quite nicely with fogging oil. Now, we do not want to open it. We don't want to start it up again now, so go ahead and shut your gas off. And then on this bike, in order to get to the spark plugs, you have to pull these head covers off. Be careful because the head's going to be warm. We've had it running. You got an exhaust pipe right here, so be really careful with this one. Get that back one to pop out in there. Reach under it. There we go. Now, that exposes both of our spark plugs. Wires right here on the front one, and right here on the rear one. We're just going to slide those off. Set them out of the way. I don't generally recommend using an impact on a spark plug you're going to reuse because you could crack the porcelain from the vibration. And we'll probably change these out for new ones in the spring, but for now, we're just going to pull these, fog it, put them back in. We'll see what they look like. We do have a little bit of carbon buildup on there, but it's not bad. I will probably go ahead and change them out in the spring, just because I don't know how long these have been in there, but you can definitely see, especially even up around the threads and even in the carbon buildup. Hopefully it's showing up there. You can see a lot of that fogging oil they got in there. And that's good. Now, this spark plug's still going to be warm, so I'm not going to take it out of the socket. I'm just going to put my straw out, and I'm going to shoot the fogging oil right down in the spark plug hole. And she's sizzling off a little bit, but it's not going to hurt anything. And then we'll thread our plug in, tighten it back up. We'll do the same on the front. Pull that one out. And it's in about the same condition. Okay. Now, before we put our spark plug wires back on, I'm going to turn the key on. Fuel is shut off. Spark plug wires are off, so it cannot start. I'm going to crank it over just to spread that fogging oil around a little bit. Okay, that's all we needed to do. That spread the fogging oil around the inside of the cylinder. We shot it down the air intake. So we're going to put our spark plug boots back on. And that fogging oil will also help to break up any carbon deposits on the backside of the valves as it sits over the winter. Just push them down until they snap, and on this bike, you just slide these in, find the holes, and they just snap right into place. So that's not a big deal. Let's get them lined up. Snap them back in. We're going to put our air cleaner on to keep any critters from crawling in there. I'm going to get the battery pulled out so I can put it on charge. On this bike, I'm not going to take you through it because it's kind of a pain. I have to take the rear seat off in order to get the front seat off, in order to get the battery, which is right down in here. Could have made that a little easier because the rear seat's got, it has 3 bolts that hold it on, and then there's another bolt that holds the front seat down. So it's all, or actually there's 2 that hold the front seat down. So it's all bolted together. It is a pain. So I'm not going to run you through that. The only other thing I didn't cover that I kind of forgot, which I did before I started the video, as always, check your oil. This thing has maybe 500 miles since its last oil change, so there's absolutely no reason to change the oil. I'm running a good Mobil 1 full synthetic in here. You saw me do the oil change on it in a previous video. If it was getting close to an oil change, now would be a good time to change it. That way the oil does not turn acidic over the winter while it's sitting. Check your tire pressures. I did that before I took off with it. When I first got up here, not even thinking about it, check the tire pressures. But make sure they're full over the winter because they are going to lose some pressure, and you don't want them getting a flat spot or going flat over the winter and possibly cracking the sidewall where you need to replace the tire come spring, especially if you're storing it somewhere where you're not going to see it on a daily basis. So if you're putting it in a storage shed or something like that, make sure you air the tires up. And it would be even better if you could level the bike out and jack it up and crib it up so that the tires were off the ground. Would be ideal, but that's not always possible. I understand that. It's not even really possible for me here. I could do it, but with this gravel floor, it's going to be a little unsteady, and we are up in the barn, so we do bring horses in and out over the winter, and I don't want something bumping into it and knocking it off the blocks. So I'm going to leave it on the kickstand. The tires should be just fine. I've never had a problem with that before, but it's something that can happen. So, guys, like I said before, do me a favor. Share this video, subscribe, like it please now that it's all over with. Hopefully, I'll see you in a future video. We're going to try and get some more motorcycle content in this year, so stay tuned. Maybe I'll see you guys out there on the road because unless it gets really cold and snowy, I'm not going to quit riding my bike. Now, I will have to take it off the road for a little bit because it's a future videos. We're going to be rebuilding the front forks on it. We're going to be doing 100,000 mile service on the bike because I'm at 97,000 right now. So I want to start off spring ready. I don't want to put a couple thousand on it and have to do it when I got prime riding weather. So if we start getting snow or anything, it's going to go in the garage. We're going to jack it up. We're going to tear that bike completely apart. We're going to put new timing belts on it, do all kinds of other stuff, rebuild front forks. I'm going to make sure I do videos on all of it for you guys. So please stay tuned for that. Share this with your friends, guys. Don't forget, get out there, get your hands dirty. You might have a little fun doing it. Hopefully I will see you guys out there on the road. Be safe. We'll see you on the next one.